Welcome to our program entitled Dr. Anita Krajnc, Vegan, and the Animal Save Movement, Part 2 of 3. Dr. Krajnc is the co-founder of Toronto Pig Save and the worldwide Animal Save Movement, and a former political science professor at Queen's University in the province of Ontario, Canada. In our last episode, Anita described the beginnings of Toronto Pig Save and its founding philosophy.
There's a quote by Romain Rolland. He says, "The evil that is seen face to face, the evil that is conscious of being seen, is more than half conquered." So whenever there's an injustice, anyone suffering, you go there, you go as close as you can, and you help. If everybody did this for every human being and every animal, wouldn't the world be a beautiful place?
Toronto Pig Save is centred on interacting with pigs on trucks in their last minutes before entering the slaughterhouse. The activists give water to the animals who are suffering in extreme heat or enduring bitter cold, and may have gone 36 hours or more without food or water.
So what we do is partially bearing witness, and it's very painful, but it's better than not being there. It's better than not telling their story, because just even partially bearing witness, you document what's happening and you share it, and when people see this, they become vegan and they join us. And once we build a big enough movement, we can have the critical mass necessary to start changing laws and banning slaughterhouses, banning animal flesh, dairy, and eggs. When you use a love-based, non-judgmental approach, I think it's easier to persuade the public to join us and to transform the industry from one that is producing animal products to one that is fully plant-based and vegan and ethical as well.
While giving water to pigs during a vigil, a trucker objected to her actions and she was arrested. Anita was charged and would have faced up to 10 years in prison if convicted.
Yeah, I was charged for giving water to thirsty pigs in 2015, and I was acquitted for that. The judge agreed that compassion is not a crime. That's a universal moral law, regardless of what human-made law says. But at the end of the day, the Canadian judge agreed that was, legal.
It was 2 years from the time Anita was charged until she was acquitted, with the actual trial taking 5 days.
So the pig trial was really important for the development of our movement. I had 2 vegan lawyers that were representing me, Gary Grill and James Silver, and what they did with this case was they turned it around and put animal agriculture on trial. And what we were fighting for was not only that compassion is not a crime and that it is a duty to give water to thirsty animals, we were also fighting for the principle that pigs are not property, they're persons. We failed on that second goal. The judge did not recognize that, and so that fight continues, because it's absolutely fundamental to recognize animals as persons. In the courts, corporations have the status of persons, which is ridiculous when living beings don't have that status. So if you look at the history of social movements, the anti-slavery movement fought for the personhood or equal personhood rights of all people. And women's movement fought for the same principle. So we are going to continue to fight for that principle, because animals are persons, not property.
The pig trial had some unexpected outcomes, including giving lots of media exposure to the animal save movement that also holds vigils at abattoirs. It had 35 groups at the time. There are now 1,000 animal save chapters worldwide.
So the pig trial brought a lot of attention to this animal save movement, and so it inspired more groups to form. We've invested a lot of resources into organizing drives. And so the idea is, if you just wait for groups to form just on their own, it would be a slow trajectory. But if you invest resources in organizing drives, you grow much more quickly. We have dozens of organizing tours every year where activists go to different countries, city by city, and organize workshops, and then hold vigils, and then recruit organizers to start vigils. So that's how we grew so fast.
We will now pause for an important message and then return. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to Dr. Anita Krajnc, Vegan, and the Animal Save Movement, Part 2 of 3 on Supreme Master Television. As we heard earlier, the Animal Save Movement grew to 1,000 chapters in the 5 years after Anita's arrest in 2015. Following a loving philosophy is a core tenet of the organization.
We have a few principles that we ask that new chapters follow, and that is basically, the idea of the duty to bear witness and love-based organizing. We're fairly decentralized, so groups take their own initiatives and actions, and we learn from each other. Because if you have a political and economic democracy, it's easier to sort of have the leadership develop in different places and then learn from each other. And this is precisely what we have. So, for example, LA Animal Save has the largest vigils, and we've learned a lot from them in terms of how to organize vigils.
The Los Angeles, USA chapter has played an essential part in the movement, as its vigils draw artists, musicians, and celebrities.
I think artists are very important in social change. Art is a way of feeling different emotions and involving your senses in something. Yes, art has a way of reaching a lot of people and getting people emotionally involved, like connecting to their feelings. In our struggle, we have to use both reason and feelings, and it's art that really helps us with the latter. So I think it's very important to work with artists, and Joaquin Phoenix is someone who's been to dozens of vigils in LA. He was already involved in the animal rights movement. He was the narrator for Earthlings. His speech, Joaquin's speech at the Oscars, was like a speech written from God, I thought. He was like the voice of God or angels. For him to speak for mother cows and their babies was the most important thing one could say. And it was beautiful.
Let us listen to a short excerpt from Joaquin's speech at the Academy Awards on February 9th, 2020, after he won the Oscar for Best Actor.
I think that we've become very disconnected from the natural world, and many of us, what we're guilty of is an egocentric worldview, the belief that we're the center of the universe. We go into the natural world and we plunder it for its resources. We feel entitled to artificially inseminate a cow, and when she gives birth, we steal her baby. even though her cries of anguish are unmistakable. And then we take her milk that's intended for her calf and we put it in our coffee and our cereal. When he was 17, my brother wrote this lyric. He said, "Run to the rescue with love and peace will follow." Thank you.
The day after winning his Oscar, Joaquin visited a slaughterhouse near Los Angeles for a very special mission.
Joaquin Phoenix rescued a mother cow and a baby at a cow slaughterhouse in California, and that's because LA Animal Save had developed a positive relationship with the slaughterhouse. And they're trying to convince the owner to become plant-based because he has many illnesses. And so it's just an example of how we need to transform the industry. And the way to do it is with love and kindness.
After taking the cow and calf to their new home at a place called the Farm Sanctuary, Joaquin Phoenix took a photo of the baby and sent it to Mr. Di Maria. He wrote his late brother's lyric that he quoted in his Oscar acceptance speech on the image. "Run to the rescue with love and peace will follow." River Phoenix. Supreme Master Ching Hai gratefully present Dr. Anita Krajnc with the Shining World Compassion Award, with a humble, loving gift of $15,000 towards your noble organizations, Toronto Pig Save and the Animal Save movement. Lots of love, praises and prayers for your safety and success in God's mercy. Supreme Master Ching Hai is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort and support to the afflicted and needy, and or any good cause over the years, as a humble vessel for His compassion and love towards His precious children. For more information about Dr. Anita Krajnc and the Animal Save movement, please visit thesavemovement.org and torontopigsave.org. Benevolent viewers, thank you for being with us for our program.